Welcome to CARICOMP Insider, where high-tech facial recognition meets real-world intelligence. Three seconds. That's how much of your voice a scammer needs to build a working copy of you. And according to research compiled by security firm Vectra A.I, that 3-second sample already produces a clone that's about 85% accurate. Now, 3 seconds still sounds a little off, slightly flat, something you might catch. But at 30 seconds of source audio, the copy becomes very difficult to tell apart from the real person on a phone call. If you've ever left a voicemail, posted a video, or spoken at a work meeting that got recorded, you've already handed over more than 30 seconds. I know that's unsettling, but there's a specific reason this works, and once you understand it, you stop being an easy target. So why can't we just trust our own ears anymore? Let's start with the belief almost everyone holds. I'd know my kid's voice anywhere, no machine could fool me. That's not arrogance. That's biology. You've been recognizing voices since you were an infant before you could recognize words. Voice feels like it belongs to us, permanent, personal, impossible to counterfeit. But researchers looking at how well people spot AI-generated fakes found something brutal. Only about 1 in 1,000 listeners can reliably identify them. That's not a failure of attention. That's a limit of human hearing. So how did the tools get this good, this fast? A few years ago, cloning a voice meant hours of clean studio audio and someone who knew what they were doing. Today, consumer apps and pay-as-you-go services do it with minutes of audio and no technical skill at all. The training material is just your life, a voicemail, a podcast guest spot, a wedding toast someone uploaded, a conference talk sitting on a company website. The article uses a comparison I keep coming back to. A cloned voice is like a counterfeit $100 bill. Print a sloppy one and any bank teller catches it instantly. But spend real money on the paper and the ink, and it sails past someone who's in a hurry. And notice the key part, the person who trusts you doesn't inspect the bill at all. They just take it. That's what makes voice fraud different from the scams we've been trained on. For 20 years, workplaces taught people to squint at email addresses and hover over links before clicking. Nobody trained you to interrogate a voice. There was never a reason to. A cloned voice arrives with two things a phishing email never had: familiarity and a live conversation where you can't pause to think. And the money tells you this isn't hobbyists. In the United States, deepfake fraud losses hit roughly $1.1 billion in 2025. Businesses that got hit lost close to $500,000 per incident on average. That kind of return funds organized crews, not bored teenagers. For a company, that's a wire transfer that never comes back. For you and me, it's a grandparent sending money to a grandchild who never called. And it's climbing steeply. Voice phishing calls, scam calls using cloned voices, jumped more than 400% between the first and second halves of 2024. Then in the first quarter of 2025, they surged over 1,600%. The growth isn't just growing, the acceleration is accelerating. So the real shift isn't that AI got better at imitation, it's that voices stopped being unique. Which means detection was never the answer. You cannot train an ear to beat a machine that already outruns it. The defense is behavioral, not acoustic. Hang up, call back on a number you already have. Confirm a detail only the real person would know. 3 seconds of your voice makes a rough copy. 30 seconds makes one you probably can't catch, so stop trying to hear the fake and start verifying the caller instead. Pick a word with your family tonight. Something plain, something no scammer could guess. That single habit does more than any amount of listening ever will. You're not powerless here, you just needed to know the rules changed. The written version goes deeper, links below. Now you know something most people in this industry don't. Use it. And when you're ready to put it to work, caracomp.com. We'll see you tomorrow.